This is the 2013 Ram 1500. 2013 was supposed to mark a mild refresh for the Ram, but the engineers went hard on this one. They said to each other, we're going to go big or go home, and they have done major updates to this vehicle. Aesthetically, it looks like a Ram, and owners love the stance of this vehicle. So much so that this vehicle is slowly getting close to F-150 sales. It hasn't taken over that spot, but you know what? A lot of people are attracted to this vehicle because of the way it looks. And you can spot a 2013 because of the vertical marker lights here inside the bumper. They used to be round or oval. Also, the grille is actually bigger. You kind of wonder, how could they make it any bigger? They have, but they've done a better job of integrating it into the hood and also to the front bumper. Now, speaking of the grille, you can actually get different kinds of grilles, different applications, depending on the style of vehicle that you want. In behind the grille that you can't see are shutters, aerodynamic shutters that open and close. When they close, it forces the air around the outside of the vehicle and helps to make this vehicle much more aerodynamic. Another touch, they've upgraded the headlamps in the front here to give a more polished look. Now, speaking of aerodynamics, you see the long running board that goes between the front and rear wheels. Found in the wind tunnel, when you put a long running board like this in, it created less turbulence down the side of the vehicle. If you can reduce aerodynamic drag, that's going to improve efficiency. Now, around the back, there's also new tail lamps, and there's also exhaust pipes that go into the bumpers if you get the Hemi-equipped V8. What we have on this vehicle is the Ram box on the sides of the bed. They open and close, and you can store things in there. Now, the update is you can lock not only the Ram box, also the tailgate and the doors by using the key fob. But the engineers didn't stop there. What's under the hood of this particular vehicle is a V6. Now, I know a lot of people would be going, oh yeah, come on, a V6 and a full-size truck like that, it's got to be absolutely boring to drive. Not the case, because the secret sauce that makes this vehicle work is an 8-speed automatic, a ZF unit, the same one that's used by BMW in many of their vehicles. It's been modified for the use in this truck. It's not only available with the Pentastar V6 that's in this truck, it's also available with the Hemi V8. So when you add in 2 extra gears, that can really affect the output. Another thing to watch out for is in the fall of 2013, it's a 2014 model, they're going to have a V6 diesel available in the 1500 Ram, and I'm really looking forward to driving that. Now, the Ram, in my opinion, already had the best looking interior in the truck business, and now they've updated it. Soft touch materials have been applied on the doors and the armrest, the center panels, and when you get the very high-end trim, the leather they use inside is butter soft. It really is fantastic. Around the center radio cluster, there's a nice combination of brighter materials and darker materials. This one is equipped with the 8.4-inch Uconnect screen, which is fantastic. When you go between radio, your phone, and other applications, it's lightning quick. There's a huge, what they call TFT screen between the tach and the speedometer behind the steering wheel. That's great for all kinds of information you're using, like fuel consumption. You can actually personalize that to put in other functions that you might want to look at quickly when you're driving along. The seats are big and comfortable, great large center console. One thing you'll notice with this truck is it does not have a column or console mounted shifter. It's got a rotary dial that sticks out of the dash, very similar to Jaguar and also Range Rover. It's a rotary dial transmission. At first, it feels very foreign, I'm going to tell you that. But after driving it for a very short period of time, because I have driven it with both the Jag and the Range Rover products, you get used to it. And it really makes sense. You don't change gears that often, and you can just flick it back and forth. It's no problem. Now, this Ram is equipped with a $1,500 option, which is air suspension, the very first pickup truck to have an air suspension. At each corner of this truck, there's an air billow, which allows the truck to be raised to its maximum height for slow speed off-roading, and it can be dropped down for loading things into either the bed or passengers getting into the truck. Now, this is a great feature for people that need to put things in and out of the back. So it's a $1,500 option. It's borrowed from the Grand Cherokee and been modified for this Ram, and it's proven in the Grand Cherokee anyway to be very reliable. Okay, anybody who's ever driven a full-size pickup truck like this with a V6 in the past, it's been a very underwhelming experience. With this one, you rotate the dial, which is different. It takes a while to get used to, but you do. Put it into drive, and because it's got 8 gears, first gear is really tall, and you take off right away, and you're into second gear very shortly. Because of that design, it enables this big truck to get up and away from a light or a stop easily, and it doesn't feel underpowered. In fact, it can actually snap your head back because of that very tall first gear. When you're at speed and you're asking for more power, you put your foot on the throttle, and the way that the program is working between the engine and the transmission, it decides to go to the transmission first. It'll drop down a gear, sometimes even 2 gears, to get you in the right ratio, and then ask the V6 engine that's rated at 305 horsepower to give you more juice. And it has 269 foot-pounds of torque. To be honest with you, driving this vehicle for the second time now in everyday use, it doesn't feel underpowered. You forget there's a V6 under the hood. It feels like a V8 from, say, 10 years ago. It really is nice. The transmission is effortless and super slick, and it does a great job. If, however, you want to change gears on your own, there's a gear selector here on the steering wheel. You can go up and down gears just by flicking it with your thumb, and that also works when you're trailing. Now, to get the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 with 305 horsepower and the 8-speed gearbox, you have to spend just $1,200 more than the standard engine, which is actually a 4.7-liter V8. Yes, the Hemi-equipped Ram will also be available with the 8-speed gearbox, and Ram believes that the Hemi and the 8-speed will have better real-world towing capacity when it comes to fuel consumption compared to the EcoBoost F-150. Now, because this vehicle is equipped with an air suspension, it can go up and down, right? When you get above 100 kilometers an hour, the truck actually lowers down. Those shutters at the front are closed. That helps the air go around the vehicle. That's called aero mode, which makes the vehicle look pretty cool, and if it can save any money, that's a good thing. You know, I've got a lot of admiration for Chrysler as a company. They've been able to turn things around from the brink of disappearing to now the #2 selling car company in Canada. Some months they're actually #1. And it's on the back of vehicles like this, the Ram F-150, #1 47 years in a row. But this vehicle is coming on strong, and with all kinds of reinvestment in things like design, interior refinements, aerodynamic advancements, of course new engines and transmissions, their sales are going to grow. Really can't wait for that diesel coming in 2014. A diesel V6 turbocharged and a 1500 Ram is going to be a vehicle that I think in Canada is going to sell very well.